This is why Ellen DeGeneres is losing fans. Ellen has been widely considered one of the nicest women on television, though her career has recently been falling apart after many fans and workers have spoken out against her. Before we get started, remember to hit that like button and let us know who Ellen's real fans are. Ellen's big break. Ellen DeGeneres is one of America's top female television hosts, though she is also a writer and actress. Ellen was born in Louisiana to her mother, Elizabeth, and her father, Elliot. She was raised as a Christian Scientist for most of her childhood. When she was still very young, her parents divorced, with Ellen living with her mother for the remainder of her childhood. She stayed in Texas with her mother until she was a teenager, though she and her stepfather didn't seem to get along too well. This was reported by Ellen, who had come clean and explained that her stepfather sexually abused her when she was 15 or 16 years old. When she finally graduated from high school, she moved back home to Louisiana and studied communication in college, though she left college after a single semester to work at a law firm with her cousin Laura. By the 1980s, Ellen had begun to explore a future career as a comedian, doing stand-up in small clubs and bars in her local area. She found a regular gig in New Orleans in the early 80s, but she didn't let her career stop there. She continued to grow and eventually embarked on a national comedy tour, being named the funniest person in America by Showtime in 1984. As her career continued to grow, she began to work in television in the late 80s and early 90s, with her first major role being in the film Coneheads. By 1996, Ellen had begun to work with Disney World and developed a series of films for a show titled Ellen Energy Adventure. This series would become a permanent part of a major attraction at Epcot, located at Disney World. She would work alongside stars including Bill Nye, Alex Trebek, Jamie Lee Curtis, and others. The ride officially opened in September of '96, called Ellen's Energy Crisis. Though it was soon renamed Ellen's Energy Adventure, the ride remained operational until August of 2017, when it was permanently closed. Ellen soon found herself as the star of the hit sitcom Ellen, which began airing in the early 90s. The show was incredibly popular, reaching its peak in 1997, though the show made a dramatic turn for the worst in 1998. The Puppy Episode. The Puppy Episode was a name given to one of the most iconic episodes of Ellen's sitcom. The episode was released in 1997 and is considered to be a major turning point in television history. The lead character, Ellen, came out as being a lesbian, with Ellen, the real-life person, coming out as a lesbian immediately after the show released. No one ever expected this to have taken place on national TV, let alone on Ellen's sitcom. After the episode aired, Ellen also appeared on The Oprah Winfrey Show and in Time magazine, where she confirmed that she was, in fact, a lesbian. In the sitcom episode, Ellen's character turns around and looks to Laura Dern, another massive actor who appeared in the show, and shouts, "I'm gay," though she mistakenly shouted this announcement into the public microphone, meaning everyone in the nearby area now knew her sexual orientation.
I'm Ellen and I'm gay. 20 years ago I said that, it was a much bigger deal then.
Television viewers were shocked, and many were outraged that Ellen would make such an announcement on public TV. At the time, being gay or lesbian was extremely frowned upon. It was such a taboo topic that no one would dare bring it up in a family setting. Though Ellen gathered the nerve to announce her orientation to the world, paving the way for a major political and social shift in American lifestyle. She opened the door for many young adults who were feeling ashamed of their sexuality and helped them to feel accepted in society. Even though her announcement may have taken place on a comedy show, her bravery was unbelievable, and she helped change the world as we know it, with the Puppy Episode eventually making its way to the list of greatest television episodes of all time, ranking at number 35.
Ellen, are you coming out or not?
Yeah, Ellen, quit jerking us around and come out already!
This brings us to Oprah Winfrey, who nearly lost her career as a result of this episode. Oprah appeared on the show and portrayed Ellen's therapist. Oprah recalls that she was happy to have appeared in the episode. She said that she had appeared in the show because Ellen had asked her to, and she wanted to support her. She added that it never occurred to her that there would be such an unimaginable level of backlash from viewers, executives, and advertisers. After the episode aired on the 30th of April in 1997, Oprah said that she had begun to receive unprecedented amount of hate mail and hateful phone calls. She said that, as with everything these days, the hate quickly turned towards her race. She says that she began to receive awful letters that were calling her every racial slur you could imagine, telling her that she should leave the country. Oprah wasn't the only one who saw a lot of outrage from the show. The network began to receive hateful phone calls from advertisers as well. The automotive company, Chrysler, was the first to pull ads from the network. Protests were established and death threats were sent to Ellen, the network, and Oprah. Both Oprah and Ellen expected there to be a bit of backlash regarding the show, but neither of them could have predicted the whirlwind of chaos that followed. Oprah recalled the day that Ellen appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show and remembers that Ellen was extremely tense and was not acting like herself. After the episode finally aired, Ellen's career was essentially put on hold for over 5 years. It took Ellen up until 2003 to recover from the drama, and she eventually made her way into the now famous daytime talk show, Ellen.
You to come out, tell the public, why was it necessary for the character to do so?
Because it is okay.
The downfall of Ellen's talk show. The Ellen DeGeneres show first premiered on television in September of 2003. It has now been on air for over 17 seasons and 2,700 episodes. It is often regarded as one of the greatest talk shows on television, with Ellen's personality captivating the American audience. Much like Oprah, her generosity to her audience members is likely one of the biggest reasons that fans have stuck around for so long. She often gives her audience members extravagant gifts without expecting anything in return. By all means, Ellen has become one of the most beloved people on American television, though this all came crashing down in July of 2020. Ellen had always prided herself on ensuring that her show promotes equality and acceptance. She has never swayed from these views. However, many fans begin to wonder if this was all a facade, as news broke about sexual misconduct by her producers. Producers Kevin Lehman and Ed Glavin, as well as co-producer Jonathan Norman, were accused of sexual misconduct in an article that was released by BuzzFeed. This article detailed at least 36 employees who accused these men of terrible sexual misconduct and harassment at work, though the article took things a step further, with the victims claiming that Ellen knew about the abuse but turned a blind eye, completely ignoring the issue. One of the victims said, "For someone who is so involved in the show and the creative aspect, and having been in those meetings with her, it's very hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that she doesn't hear the same whispers." A short time later, another victim spoke out and said she knows this goes on, but also she doesn't want to hear it. By August of 2020, yet another article was released by BuzzFeed. In this article, another employee spoke out and claimed that Ellen was fully aware of the abuse. However, this employee said that Ellen was not only aware of it, but potentially encouraged it. While she never did this correctly, the victim argued that Ellen ignoring the issue was exactly the same as promoting a toxic work environment. The victim said, "You cannot stand up in front of an audience as large as hers every single day for 17 years and say the words, 'Be kind to one another,' and do what she did." Another employee commented and said, "No one is holding themselves accountable. They just made excuses for it." These are some of the incredibly serious allegations that could very likely spell the end of Ellen's career.
I lost my career. I got the show was canceled after 6 years without even telling me. I read it in the paper. The phone didn't ring for 3 years.
Ellen's response. Ellen seems to have taken these allegations to heart and responded with a rather lengthy letter to her employees in which she stated, "Hi everybody, it's Ellen. On day one of our show, I told everyone in our first meeting that the Ellen DeGeneres show would be a place of happiness. No one would ever raise their voice and everyone would be treated with respect. Obviously, something's changed, and I am disappointed to learn that this has not been the case, and for that, I am sorry. My name is on the show and everything we do, I take responsibility for that." Alongside Warner Brothers, we immediately began an internal investigation, and we are taking steps together to correct the issues. It's been way too long, but we're finally having conversations about fairness and justice. We all have to be more mindful about the way our words and actions affect others, and I'm glad the issues at our show were brought to my attention. I want everyone at home to love our show, and I want everyone who makes it to love working on it. Again, I'm sorry to anyone who didn't have that experience. Warner spoke out against these allegations as well and said that all 36 of the allegations allegations could not be confirmed, though they mentioned that several of the claims were proven to be true. They further explained that they were disappointed to learn of the difficult and unsafe work environment, but that they are in the process of correcting the issue. It is completely shocking and baffling to hear such wrongdoings taking place on the Ellen DeGeneres show. As Ellen admitted, her name is attached to the show, and her name has only ever been associated with positivity and acceptance. To hear such awful things taking place around Ellen, and to know that she didn't do anything about it, is extremely unsettling. For everyone's sake, we hope Ellen was not promoting this behavior, and that she was truly blissfully unaware of the abuse that was taking place. But for the sake of the victims, we hope that these criminals will be appropriately charged for what they have done.
Ellen DeGeneres has shown us that a single individual can make the world a more fun, more open, more loving place, so long as we just keep swimming.